I want to do one for They Live.
They have recruited the rich and the powerful.
What do these things want, and why are they here?
They're running the whole show. Wake up! They're all about you, all around you.
They are safe as long as they are not discovered.
Take a look.
They're sending some kind of signals out of TV sets.
You still don't get it, do you, boy?
Okay. Hello. Let's see if this link thing works this time. Oh, did that actually work? Hello. Okay, yeah. So I'm attempting to post a link possibly, which it probably won't let me do. So I might have to put it somewhere else. But it acted like it was going to work earlier, but I don't think it's going to. Nope. Didn't work. Okay. I'm going to put the link in the description. And yeah. I will also Discord it to you, Skank. But I've added it to the description for anyone who lands on the thing. YouTube acted like it was going to let me post links now, but I guess it won't. So there you go. But yeah, the idea is I'm just, this is a checking in. Been in the TLC for a while, doing stuff on the internet, whatever. You know, that type of thing. So that's the idea. You know, so we're gonna, you know, part of the sacred order of foolish transparency, we're gonna talk about, you know, dealing with the too many grandmas, not too many Andres. See the idea? So yeah. Well, we're adding a stage. We're on the stage now. Things are happening. How do I get this to go away? Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, Skank? What are you up to?
Not a whole lot. I was trying to once again wrangle the formatting for the actual print edition of the zine, and it was again a total disaster. So working on it. The last one, not the new one, not the new one. I've got like a couple first drafts so far, but no, we still got like 2 months for, or like a month and a half, hoping to publish June 22nd for the detective edition.
Yeah, I have a hard copy of a rough draft by Chad here that he gave me in person.
Wow, that's awesome. Oh, were you at the denim dinner?
Yeah, or whatever it was. The dinner of 5 in Wisconsin.
Dinner of 5 sounds ominous. Are you all traders now?
I don't know, man. But it was crazy to me because it was I was the only one who wasn't previously IRL. So I guess brought meaning to it by being the coming out of the lurk type person in it. And it was weird to meet 4 weirdos from the internet in real life.
Right?
You know,
just odd.
And this is coming from, you know, many years of relative isolation. So it was kind of nuts. And, you know, and then to just like talk about philosophy for 4.5 hours straight. with other people in real life. It's nuts.
Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, no, our last camp out, like the campfire session, it was just epic. It's just the best, and it's also just the culmination of certain guys around the campfire I've known for 2, 3 years now, and it's just yeah. The longer you get to know folks, like the depth of friendship is just astounding for dorks on the internet.
Yeah, and and this is where I get the not too many Andres idea, because I struggle with the too many grandmas, which is just the human beings, I guess. Just being around a bunch of people is new to me. But at that dinner, it was like very clear, very quickly that we got like a bunch of Andres here. It's like
But self-hating Andres, maybe.
yeah, I thought that's interesting that you said, because I thought that was one of the things that came out of the discussion, was really that the corner was full of self-loathing Andres. People who don't
It's more
how Andre they
I
are.
think I think it's more the more we meet each other, the more we realize we're not the unique, special individual we thought we were. We're a type of guy, which is traumatic for all of us.
Oh, now that's that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, one of the things I did say after this dinner was, whenever you walk away from a conversation, you're a Wally. But to the other person, you were an Andre.
I like that. I like that a lot. And I think it's also like it's like watching a movie. It was very easy to kind of dog on Wally initially, but even just Wally being kind of like the quiet friend asking pretty banal questions, like gave Andre the space to Andre it up. Like the two need each other.
True.
And as somebody who, especially much earlier in my life, was much more of a Wally than an Andre.
Yeah.
Just deeply introverted person, which will be shocking to most folks to see, or to hear, but it's really true.
Well, yeah, I got this here. I think I got a clip of these guys on the Dawn Patrol. We're talking about the night, there we go. These guys were talking about the Andre night, and I liked what they were saying here.
And we've all learned to do that. I was thinking when you were saying that, how well Ezra's movie night went, even though it got up to 10 boxes. You watch anything like that on cable TV, and it's an absolute barn fire. I was going to say something different, but see, that was me curating myself a little bit. But it's an absolute disaster. Like, I can't keep up. It almost always drives me insane. Like, can we hear one complete thought in this conversation? Which I'll use the we statement because I was there. We were able to do that. And it turned into, it was amazing for me because I got to see other perspectives and actually gain an improved sense of the experience that I went through that initially wasn't. Like, the experience for me got baptized. And it became something new because I gave we all did this. We gave everybody the opportunity to give their perspectives. And now you get to see the thing more fully. And, who knows if that's what the actors or what the writers or directors intended. But despite that, that's another interesting point. You could.
Yeah, so I really loved this idea. I just felt like what Scott was saying, it was bringing out the difference between what we're doing, talking about movies, and kind of why I didn't talk about them online for 20 years, is we're doing something different than like the, there's an unlimited number of podcasts out there of people like drooling over movies and TV. And even if they're critical, it's like they're critical from a point of view of where they still like worship set,
Mhm.
and it really felt like we were doing something different, and that makes me feel good about it, despite the fact that I dissociated after the first 45 minutes of the talk. Chad, how are you doing?
Oh no, I go ahead, Chad.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Skank, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was going to say, like, I understand completely. When I was a middle school teacher for a couple of years, and that happened because the school that hired me, it was COVID, and so they were just, not layoffs, but a couple older teachers that are just like, I refuse to learn how to teach online. I'm done. I'm out. And so there are a lot of openings, and so I slipped in there. And it was a small private school, so we shifted in person pretty quickly. But the first week or two was we couldn't meet any of the students in person, so it was all live streaming type stuff. And there's one day where you're just going to go through the entire day, but cut in half. So 20 minutes per class, and so it's just boom, 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 and I'm talking to 15 new kids, 15 new kids, 15 new kids in 20-minute bursts, and just my brain was just complete jelly by the time it was done. It's being the person in charge of moderating 10 people it takes a toll. It takes a toll.
Yeah, too many grandkids in that case, kind of almost.
Mm-hmm. And rowdy kids too.
Chad, what are you doing? What are you thinking?
I was just like playing guitar, and I was thinking of listening to the song, and it's like, oh, I want to figure that out. And I was just kind of messing around trying to figure it out. And then I was like, oh, dude, Ezra's on. And then so I clicked, and then, yeah, just thought I'd come on and say hi. I don't know how long I'll have. Carolyn's at the park, and then they're gonna get some pizza and come home in a bit. But yeah.
Well, you were kind of the planner originator of the highly successful Dinner for Five in Wisconsin. There,
that was a lot of fun. It was there's a lot about it that I like. First thing is I get to invite my friends, and it's not the first time we've done that style. It's the first time I've had that particular dinner with those exact people at that place. You know what I mean? So it's always going to be different. That's kind of like one of the fun parts is it's never exactly the same. If I get to do that sort of thing, like once we had Corey from Estuary. I can't remember his handle. Corey Eagle Wings, I think, and his family, and Ann and I and his family were at that same restaurant once for dinner, and then I had who else did I go there with?
that's funny. And Andre, they like know him at the French restaurant, so like maybe he takes everybody there,
Right.
All the people who hear he's been crying against a building, he's like, hey, let's go.
Yeah, so for me, it's one of those kind of one of my favorite places to go because I like steak a lot, and they have a decent enough steak that's affordable, and then they have like this BOGO thing, which is kind of cool, and the ambiance of the place, I think, is that the word ambiance? Is it ambiance or like Beyonce, or ambiance like Beyonce?
Ambiance. I don't know.
I really trust you Wisconsiners to just do your own thing with those vowels, man. Have fun with them.
Ambience.
Nice. Yeah, ambience. So the ambience of the joint. It
had good ambience.
Yeah, the good ambience was awesome. I mean, like, dude, it's awesome because like it's got like taxidermy everywhere, and I think I even had a conversation with Neil about taxidermy, like after the fact. It was like, is taxidermy like a modern? Is does taxidermy and modernism go together? Like
Maybe.
so it's like trophies, science, and like technology, all in this like very masculine modernism. Anyways, so that place is full of taxidermy, which is awesome. And it's not like it's not some kind of like let's build a restaurant tomorrow and then make it look like it was invented 100 years ago. The place was actually there like it was 100 some odd years ago. It's fun. And then I get to go there with my friends, and so that all is it. I like the agent arena relationship.
Well, yeah, I was telling Chad, it was crazy for me because, like, conversation wise, I'm mostly a like hit the tennis ball back guy. Only occasionally do I like to like serve up the tennis ball, and when I serve it up, like my entire experience, in my whole life is that I like throw out my weird thing, and then people are like, "Oh, like what?" And then it like starts a whole either interesting interaction where I have to defend my, insane position, or that's the end of the conversation. And like halfway through this dinner, I realize this is like the 7th time I've tossed out a ball here. And people were just like, yeah, that, of course, that makes perfect sense. Like, we live in the Matrix for real. Yeah, I get you. I saw the video. It's fun. And that was so weird to experience for the first time, kind of.
Yeah. What was truly weird about the fit in the night was that they didn't ask us for dessert. So I thought that was really weird.
They didn't?
I don't recall. If they did, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think they did either.
Weird. But yeah, I mean, you guys had coffee all night, so there's that.
That's true. They said it was decaf. Man, I couldn't sleep, but it might just be because it was like, I think my body was like, what are you doing hanging out with people and like telling them stuff? Did you not, like we decided we don't do that anymore. And then here you are doing it. Okay, yeah, here's Neil. Half this dinner was just arguing with Neil, claiming that he's the most normal out of us.
Yeah, he's the most normal.
You're not normal. Okay?
The fact that he's proud that he thinks he's passing kind of confirms my worries that he might be a psychopath.
Well, I started to think afterwards that this actually shows how weird he wants to be, because it's like in a bunch of Andres, he was like, well, I stand out because I'm normal. You know what I mean? Why you got to stand out?
Yeah, dude.
He's just always trying to be different.
Super Wally. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, anyhow. That was, and then he kept trying to he came with basically like a bundle of pitches for the dinner.
Yeah. He basically came with a script.
He didn't even get through all of them.
He us all and said, "Here, this is what you guys say." But
I mean, at least he was well prepared and thorough and didn't run out.
It was great.
That's a good point. Actually, it really helped. Helped things stay on the tracks.
You had all these kind of like interesting threads. There were several conversations that were being carried through the evening, which was a lot of fun. Like the idea of Neil is not normal. You had the conversations of the oncoming pitches.
Yeah, maybe he brought all those because he thought, I just have to wrangle these insane people, so I got to keep it on the tracks. I'm gonna bring them.
My dogs are going crazy.
Bring them some pitches.
I mean, it is true. We do need a lot of wrangling, and there's no clear host in the IRL situation.
That's a good point. Yeah, like who's running the StreamYard? I don't understand.
How do I kick this guy out? He's so rude.
Yeah, how do I remove myself? But still listen?
Yeah. Our waiter wasn't he kind of weirded me out because like I asked about they have bread there that you get, and the bread is really good. And I just assumed that it was like all you can eat bread, you know? And after 2 loaves between 5 guys, I mean, loaves. Loaves. Wait, was it 2 loaves or 2 servings of 2 different loaves?
It was like, yeah, there might have been, I think there was 3 loaves.
3. Yeah.
Something.
Well, I was like, hey, man, because I knew we were going to be talking still. And I was like, we get another one of them loaves of bread. And he's like, man, I don't know. I'd have to charge you like $3. And I was like, I don't want your bread.
You know, it's bad when they start charging you for the complimentary bread.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. He was like the 2026 version of the old dude in My Dinner with Andre. He's like kind of quiet and you hear his face, you don't hear what he says.
Oh yeah.
For the young guy that we had, you heard the dude. Like, you know. He was like yeah.
That's the difference between millennial and greatest generation waiters. Millennials don't know their place.
Yeah, dude. It's like, what is service? Do you know what service is? And I'm just a, curmudgeon millennial, but.
Well,
do you guys have any plans to watch They Live before we discuss They Live on May 14th?
I do. I haven't gotten around to it yet, and need to watch this 3-hour Hamlet vid on my hard drive first. That should happen tonight, I think.
Oh, but did you get like a version of Hamlet that's like a stage production of Hamlet? Is that the deal?
I do.
This is like the recent one that had the actor who played Moriarty that time or whatever.
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Okay. I've seen most of the film versions of Hamlet.
It is a record, like an officially filmed stage production.
Yeah, I think I've seen four movie Hamlets.
Yeah. And came very, very well regarded by our resident Shakespeare buff, Gustavo.
Yeah, my mom used to teach Hamlet, and she would show different versions of it to her class. And she would also show this clip from the movie The Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he's in a version of Hamlet, and he goes, to be or not to be, not to be. And then he just starts mowing guys down with an Uzi.
Classic.
Sounds more like Hamlet Senior than Hamlet himself.
Yeah, or it's more like, it's like maybe it was more like the the original Danish version or something of Hamlet, where he just gets bloody revenge.
The Northman?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that would be an interesting movie to there are a lot of movies. Wait, so when I say I think that would be an interesting movie to go through, and would that be the kind of like the yucky? Is that what you think, like kind of yucky, where I'm like, oh, that's a cool, interesting movie because it's meta on like the Hamlet thing, and like, you know what I mean? Like it has like all this kind of like that movie, Last Action Hero, wasn't really popular amongst like big crowds, but I loved it as a kid. I hated the soundtrack though, but yeah.
You hated the sound.
Is it kind of like pure 80s action slop?
The only The only problem with that movie was that it was like the PG-13 that shouldn't have been PG-13, maybe.
Yeah, it may have been like the kind of the beginnings of that.
Yeah, it seemed like a little held back or something.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, dude. That's kind of like that almost seems like that would be like a starting point of when franchise starts to notice itself.
Oh,
like
and it was
like a self-aware of franchise, which is kind of what happens throughout Hollywood thereafter. So you have like music. The soundtrack was a big piece of that. I remember the marketing of that movie was Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, all that stuff was really massive for that movie, even though the movie was a flop. But I also thought that the actual soundtrack was a flop too. It was like all these bands are like, it was like at Guns N' Roses peak right as it was dying and right before it was dying. So I think the song on there was, I think Grizz mentioned that song the other day. Ball break. AC/DC Ball Breaker was on there too. I think. Pretty sure that was, or was that? Anyhow, yeah. So like he's like totally making fun of action movies. It's not making fun of. How do I say that?
Yeah, like it's like parody at times or satire.
Yeah. Right.
And that was interesting because that was like the first really meta, like huge movie that I remember seeing, where it's like they go into movie world.
Yeah.
And then it's like it shows how movie world works. But it's this weird thing where it's like he's like an action star, but then there's like a cartoon cat that like is also a cop, because it's like all of the movie world is like on top of each other, all the different genres at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that something happened there. I mean, I think we went into the Matrix, but after the 90s, movies really become more like the fake movie world within a movie of Last Action Hero. They like become parody of themselves in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tarantino's movies shift from being about like real life to any degree to being like about the Tarantino universe itself, like this meta self-aware reality or something.
Gotta take this.
Is there like a firm like date for that, or is it sort of just kind of like a gradual transition, do you think?
Yeah, I was trying to decide that, because like movies seem to have a fairly steep drop off change after 2000, but I mean, I'm guessing maybe it was more like 9/11. I don't know.
Okay.
And Neil seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which also does that and did it earlier. And is weird. I never liked Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Kind of bothered me for that reason. Something about the meta, like Hollywood commenting on itself.
I mean, the whole thing is also kind of giving up on kind of like the big rule of film is like suspension of disbelief. And so they're no longer trying to trick you into having a dream. They're like, we all know you're dreaming. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
That's a really good point. Yeah. And I do see that as very post-Matrix, where, again, my whole argument is at the end of the Matrix, Neo is like, no, let's stay asleep. But if we know we're dreaming, we can lucid dream. We can do all this weird magic stuff. But the important thing is we don't ever wake up. Because I didn't like that little ship and it was cold or whatever. But I think that maybe that the way that ship was and the way that the real world in the Matrix seemed crappy, maybe that's just how it seems when, you were woken from the Matrix too late and you're kind of attached to that Matrix world. Because my experience of real life, off of a screen is not that it's, cold and crappy and I want to get back to the digital world where I can fly and do interesting things like in a video game. It's actually, like I always think about it like in graphics. or like when we went to HD and it was like, oh, now we're like 720p, and then we moved to like 1080. And it's like, well, if you actually go look with your eyes, it's actually better than 4K.
Hey, there's a point where like the graphics are like too good for your eyes to notice the goodness, and it actually I had to like smooth out not quite the imperfections that you see, but I don't know. I don't know. It's like you guys know what I'm talking about, like the real kind of like sense of unreality in like certain real high quality TVs, especially when you try and watch an old movie on them and you're like everything is
Well,
wrong.
you see the shakiness of the camera and all that.
No, not that. I'm talking like the smoothness of the picture quality.
Oh,
When it's like too high a frame rate, too realistic, too whatever,
Right.
it almost stops being
I
a
actually
movie at that
prefer
point.
like I can't even watch like Star Wars. I won't even watch like Star Wars unless it's on VHS or something. Like I prefer that kind of that medium in the way that it But even I don't even know. Yeah, how far do you go with that? Do you have to get like a television, not like like an LCTV or something? Or
I do
LCD?
have one of those right over there
Oh,
with
nice.
a VCR under it.
Sweet,
Whoa.
dude. I love that, dude. I have like all of my movies downstairs. I got like a whole bunch of VHS. I got like Meet Joe Black. Which I love that movie. That was a cool movie. A bunch of them, dude. But
we had the coolest movie night a few months ago. We went to like this record store and they were selling VHS, and I was like digging in a bin, and there was this movie called To Live. I had never heard of it. And I was like, how is there a movie I've never heard of on VHS, And I grab it, and it was by this guy, Zhang Yimou. He's a Chinese director. And I'd seen a film of his in film school or in college. And I just read the description, and it was like kind of going to be about the Chinese Communist Revolution. And I was like, what? We're watching this tonight. Okay. So I bought it, and they were like, it's 50 cents. And I was like, just take $1. This is probably going to be like the best movie night I've had in years of like renting Amazon things for $5 or whatever. And I get to keep this, and we're going to go watch it, And it was a really incredible movie that he somehow was able to make under the Chinese government it was like he had become so famous as a international director that he was able to make this movie about the Chinese Revolution. And it was suppressed for like 20 years or 10 years in China. But then they wanted him to do the opening ceremony of the Olympics. So he made the deal that they would have to unban it in order for him to do the opening ceremony. But it was a wonderful movie and very interesting and disturbing.
Is that I'd heard of this one movie that is about like the Chinese Cultural Revolution as if it were like hunting down a serial killer or something like that. That's not this movie, is it?
No. Yeah. This is just like, this is more historical. It just follows a family that is before the revolution and then through it. And it's really interesting because like the guy loses all of his money gambling before the revolution. And then it's like, oh, if we had our money, we'd all be dead.
Oh. Huh.
Very interesting.
What is it? The Chinese farmer parable, where like bad things keep happening, or like bad and good things keep happening. Like, is this good? Is this bad? And like, we'll see.
Yeah, man.
Ups is mentioning being John Malkovich, which I think is a better it's a better like inversion of Hollywood. It's one of the few like mocking celebrity kind of things that rings a little true, I would say.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many movies, dude.
Yeah. So much mind control.
Here, I'll throw one at you. I stumbled into my local art cinema. This is in the middle of working on the Cyberpunk Islam issue, and it's this story of a father whose daughter has gone missing, and so he goes to this rave in the Moroccan desert, just passing out flyers trying to find her. And he meets up with some like raver, like burnt out, stoner kids who are like, "There's this other one on the other side of the desert. Maybe it is," and it just I like. Is called Sirat, Sirat, and Sirat is an Islamic word for the bridge between hell and paradise, which apparently is as thin as a hair and as sharp as a sword. Yeah, it's him walking across that bridge through the desert, and it's just a very powerful experience. But it's sort of like I felt so like devastated afterwards. I really wouldn't recommend that to anybody without them knowing that it was a rough watch. But yeah, initially I'm just like, I hate this so much, but I'm still talking about it a month later.
That was one of the things that happened. I was talking with Ezra about this movie called Train Dreams, and we agreed on a couple of things about the thing that wasn't good about it. But for me, what I really loved about it was, even though it's tragic and there's this tragic aspect to it, it spoke to something and put words to something that I've never seen in art since I've been a father. And it was so like touching to see it. I don't know, it's kind of like what would you call that? Like almost like what do they call that? That therapy where you gotta like I don't know, do the hard thing. You know what I mean?
Exposure therapy.
Exposure. It was almost like exposure therapy. Watching that for me, it was like a kind of a relief. And so yeah, I mean that's pretty terrifying too. So yeah, there's another one if you guys want to watch something.
That just makes me think of this sense in which art is like a mirror, but there's also I see art as very similar to dreams, and like some of the stuff that like Matthew Pajot says about dreams. He was saying that in a dream it's kind of like you gaze upon the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in a dream, but you don't eat the fruit because it's not real, it's just a dream, but like you see the tree. But then how you bring the dream into your life, that can be like eating the fruit. So if you dream,
I have a question about dreams.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I jumping around too much? I'm trying to get a lot in before I get here.
No, it's all good.
I've had this major kind of like mind-blowing revelation about dreams that you, the dreamer, or me, the dreamer, am like broken into three persons. The one that creates the dream, that hides himself from everybody else in the whole like you ever notice like when you're in your dream, you don't realize that you're the one who's actually constructing the world that you're in. Like you become the arena, but also you become the agent within the dream. So you're both. And that's a very strange realization once you realize that you're not actually like, it's not like being in the world, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you're the one who actually is creating the arena, and yet you can't predict what the arena is going to do, and you're the one who's creating it. How are you hiding yourself from yourself? It's very interesting. Unless you maybe are a lucid dreamer, which as like a kid, I could do that. But if I would do it, I would lose. It'd immediately start to fall apart. The whole thing would just kind of like not be as what it was before. But so then the third part is like the actual person, like me now, me now is not the same person that's in the dream either, right? Mm-hmm. Like I reflect. I'm the reflector now. I reflect back on the dream, and then the dude that's walking around in the dream, that's an agent. He doesn't have a lot of agency either sometimes, so he's more of like this anticipator. So you got the reflector, the anticipator, and then the arenic dude. And so, isn't that? Do you guys relate to any of that weird shit stuff?
I mean, it does, I think, relate to like making art, in the sense of you might start out thinking you're the one, like this thing is like the pure product of my will and imagination, but very quickly you start to realize, no, this arena that you're generating kind of takes on, like if you do it well, it takes on a life of its own. So it almost it only comes into being because you're like putting words to paper or something like that. But it's also like you get to this point where you're following rather than telling it where to go.
Well, yeah, I often think that
I got to roll. Sorry.
Pisha.
Wife, kids home. Bless you.
I often think that like usually artists don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that the best
we should never trust their politics.
Yeah. Well, and like they very often, I mean, almost never can they even tell you what they're doing or explain it at all. And then a lot of times it seems like it's the reasons it's best is maybe because it, like the structure of the thing starts to be the same as the structure of reality, such that we can like see reality in it, or that it can reveal something true and good and beautiful to us. But the person making it may, have sort of stumbled into it.
Yeah. I mean, I like to talk of it as like, there's different ways of tapping into the logos. And that comes through finding a particular path and trying to cultivate excellence in it. Like athletes, they can kind of do that. If you get like really, really good at something, that's your way of kind of really getting at like the really real. But there's a lot of different paths into the really real, and that's going to condition how you see the rest of reality. But it's all going to be flavored by the particular path you're taking in. So because you're always kind of like funneled by your own perspective, and so you are getting into the really real. But I mean, like other people can get in there as like a writer or as like a teacher. Like for some people, like even like running a business can be their way of tapping into the really real, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and like sometimes it seems that, especially in the arts, when the artist just tries to be as honest as possible, it's often very useful to other people, even if, it's sort of like a sort of wretched person who tells the truth as best they can from their perspective. We can often get a lot out of it and a deep insight, even if, we certainly would not want to be them or.
Yeah, there's this. You can be really, really excellent at really, really terrible things.
Yeah,
and I know there's some weird irony that there's still wisdom to be found there. But also, if you have any choice in the matter, don't follow that route down.
But there's what Chad was saying about dreams. It got me thinking about how, like, maybe lucid dreaming is the last thing we should do. Because people tend to lucid dream in the sense that once the dream becomes lucid to them, they tend to think, oh, now I'm going to do all the crazy stuff I can't do in life because this isn't real. So people live out fantasies. They do all kinds of maybe immoral things because they're like, oh, that's like a video game and it doesn't matter if I, it's like they're just chowing down on the fruit of the tree. because there's no consequences. And I wonder if it's like, if we really understood what dreams were for, maybe we would be like the people who play GTA and they, follow all the traffic laws and they just act like maybe we should just act like the dream is completely real.
Okay, so this is a funny example because I've been playing Death Stranding 2, and one of the features of the game is there's this animal shelter that you can help. So if you come across animals in the wild, you can throw them into a box and deliver them to the animal shelter. And it's like you seal them in this like big container. And I was talking to President Foxwood about this the other day, and I'm like, I'm really frustrated by how like guilty I feel about leaving the animals in the box. Like I feel compelled to stop everything that I'm doing and drive all the way across the map to deliver it to the zoo. And the game is also structured where you can't ship it. You got to be, because there's an animal inside. So you can't, there's a number of things you can't do. So they force you to take the long way to take it to the zoo. And I'm like, yeah, no, I feel like morally obligated to this digital animal.
Yeah. And like, I think there's a sense in which it's, because you could tell yourself this is just a game mechanic, it doesn't matter, I'm just going to ignore it. But it's like, well, what are we letting in there if we do that? Maybe it's better to act on the reality, because I mean, presumably more and more in the future we're not going to know what's real, and somebody's going to be telling us it's just a mechanic, it's just a game. Like those aren't real people,
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe we, Now Ron's bringing the woo in the chat here. He's saying, what about when God gives a dream?
How do you know? I'm reading Hamlet right now, Ron, and Hamlet doesn't know if the ghost of his father is, somebody who's been allowed to come to Earth from purgatory or a demon deceiving him. How do you tell the difference, man?
That's sounding like some Kierkegaard to me. I don't know.
No.
Isn't like there a celebration of Kierkegaard's birthday coming up here?
Yeah. About 2 hours. I'm gonna log in from somewhere, and we'll share a simultaneous sip for a minute, and then go drink alone, as Kierkegaard would want.
Nice. Oh, and Ron's saying that a dreamland is a liminal space. It's not just your head doing stuff. I think I might agree with that. It's not just your head doing stuff.
Get in here, Ron.
Yeah, Ron.
What would Ron say to Hamlet's father, his ghost?
I would love to. That'd be great if Hamlet's father's ghost came on House of Woo. I think
we should save that for April Fools or Halloween or something.
Yeah, I think Ron would handle it well. We're inviting you. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Oh, and that's right.
I have some branding Chad made here. This is Ezra exclusive branding.
Yeah. Did they bite? I don't know anything about bird mites.
I guess that they can, but they're really tiny. So yeah, there you go.
Should get the story of your car getting swallowed up by the earth in there too. Oh my god! What?
Glad that is in the past. Links in the description, Ron. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know how to get the link powers. Like it at one point it told me I could get them somehow. I had to prove to them I was who I am or something.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm just bootlegging Free Willy and StreamYard, so that was already there. Guess he's more respectable than either of us.
Well, that makes sense. You know what's so weird is I've only had a very little correspondence with Free William, but it's just strange because he's from Central Illinois as well. And I did think about how I've met a couple people from Central Illinois that are so similar to me. And then it's like, oh, I guess it makes sense that we're similar and interested in all the same things. We're from almost exactly the same place. But when you grow up as the person who's the weird person who doesn't fit into your town, and one of my closer friends is from like one town over from me, like 5 miles away, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're just me from your town. It's like, is there just
You live
one of us
just
every
far enough
2,000?
away that you guys both can share the same social ostracization.
Exactly. It's like, oh, I guess I'm a 1 in 2,000. I didn't know.
Like I said, it's the trauma. We're all discovering we're not ourselves. We're not unique. We're a type of guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it was a lot to have the Andres, and yeah, I think my body really felt this, like the other shoe is gonna drop, where you can't just have like you can't just be like seen and heard and express yourself or something.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna have to adapt to these grandmas.
Yeah. You get a little too lippy, and then the universe like stomps you down. Yeah. Or just like I'm used to, like it just completely getting sidelined. I don't need to like my opinions don't need to matter because that's just Matt being Matt. Pay no attention to him. That's usually what happens to me in book club.
So are you gonna do are we doing Hamlet? Is that the thing? Is there gonna be a production of Hamlet to tie in with
it? It looks like so I was talking to Boosted Hill last night, who I think is going to be talking to Grimm soon, or something like that. I don't like people talk to people all the time, and he's our Shakespeare guy, and so first off, he's just like, I've been waiting for you guys to get here for so long. Welcome. And so he thinks we should start with Macbeth. He thinks first off it's the shortest play. It's also to his mind the easiest entry. And it's also kind of ties into some kind of like persistent like TLC themes that prop up a lot. Specifically, like nihilism is directly discussed in the play. Yeah, and he has a vid. I'll send you a link when we're done here. He did a presentation that's kind of pitching to some of the Thursday Bible study crowd one day about how Macbeth is, Christian literature, and to my mind, it's probably an all-timer, like top 10 TLC content for me. Just phenomenal stuff. And a guy who's very active in the acting community. This is like what he does, bringing his experience and his excellence to bear, and also being able to do it not just as an actor, but also bringing the full kind of like Christian frame in. This is just great stuff. Great stuff. I'll send you the link once I'm done here.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think he's. But yeah, so I think Macbeth is probably what's gonna.
Oh, so it's, we're
put
gonna
together.
Okay, Macbeth.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I'm still gonna talk about Hamlet because Hamlet is the best, or fits into my detective theme, and I'm locked in.
Well, yeah, part of me was hoping for like some giant corner synergy there, but I also understand it's like a 4-hour play.
Yeah. He's like, David's like, maybe don't start with the longest one. Let's try the shortest one.
Yeah.
He's like, you got their attention now. Let's not lose it immediately, okay?
Brett, Liminal Ron is still liminal in that he's like loading.
Cool.
So, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, this Shakespeare thing, and I'm not into that sort of thing, but I think it's because I love everybody in this space. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, me too. My mom taught Shakespeare, so Shakespeare was like always a big thing, but I haven't really thought about or read Shakespeare in, I don't know, 15 years or something. So maybe it's time.
think
Yeah.
I think when I read it, I didn't even understand it back then. That's how much of an idiot I was.
It's the language is pretty opaque, man. It takes some work, especially if you're just reading, which
Yeah, it's
I was
definitely
told to stop
easier.
doing.
Definitely easier to
Like if you,
watch productions.
yeah.
I did watch the last one I watched, or the last one I engaged with was Measure for Measure.
Okay.
Because remember there was that guy like Tom Segru or something like that. He was like this lecturer who made
Not
videos.
the comedian.
No, not Segura. It was like Segru something. I might have the name wrong, but there was this guy who like he did a bunch of YouTube what do you call them? It's like a sermon, but when you're a teacher.
Just a lecture?
Lecture. There you go. He did a bunch of lectures that like kind of went in the 90s for like video that went viral, kind of around Peterson and stuff times, or like IDW times or whatever. And I guess it thought I wanted to watch lectures because I was watching Awakening from the Meaning Crisis. So it started sending these to me, and they were like lectures from the 90s about philosophy and all this stuff. But he did one on this play, Measure for Measure, and he just loved Measure for Measure. It's one of the comedies. And it is excellent. I was able to find like a made for BBC tele version or something that was actually pretty good.
That one actually came up on my feed too recently.
Yeah. See, they're listening to us. Wait, we didn't talk about it till just now. So they're reading our mind in advance.
Or I mean, predictive programming or whatnot. They are guiding us towards this.
Yeah, they might just be telling us. They might be planning they're planning the ideas in our heads.
Yeah. Although to be fair, it was like Moby Dick that pushed me towards King Lear, which I'm not going to get to for a while yet, which is how I got into my Shakespeare era. I was like, all right, I'll just chase down King Lear somewhere, find a good kind of like reader's copy, kind of read through it. And then in the process, I'm like, well, some commentary would be helpful. And I picked up this commentary, and it's just blowing me away. Which then is like, well, you got to start with Hamlet, and then you got to go to this and that. So it's completely upended my reading. And but again, also I gotta stay, try to keep my reading on theme with the zine issue. Can't get spread too thin.
I once saw a performance of King Lear that was quite good and quite intense. You know, they were doing the thing where like people get their throats cut and they kind of like throw like a red ribbon, you know, and it was quite they had it down. It was disturbing.
Skank, do me a favor, and I apologize that I don't know this, but
what's up?
Tell me about the zine.
It's the last scene was a bunch of short stories written on the theme of cyberpunk Islam. You can find it on my Substack, this little zine at substack.com. Or if I can finally figure out how to format this thing properly, you let me know and we'll get you a print copy. But
That's cool.
Yeah, I think we have 7 short stories that were published about a month or so ago. Afriel, President Foxman, Henry from Wholly Unfocused Thoughts. Free Brilliant wrote for us as well. Yeah, and
will you professionally publish it, or is it just for friends and all that?
I mean, the whole thing about zines is they're unprofessional. They're underground alt literature, stuff like that. So I literally was just, using my printer budget at the local library trying to get this thing sorted. So I might as well waste the government's money rather than my money while trying to figure this thing out.
That's right.
There's a new issue due to come sometime.
Yes. Yep.
In the next few months.
Yep. We are currently working on an issue on the theme of detectives, hoping to publish at the turn of the season, so June 20th or so. So if you want to write something up about detectives, come on down. Hook something up.
I suck at writing.
Yeah, that's all right. We're here to do things badly in public and have a good time doing it.
You could go to the Greater Ingression Protocol, regional
Yeah.
whatever Greater Regional Ingression Protocol, and you
Yes,
could
June
pitch
12th through the
your-
14th.
and you could pitch your detective story, and just see if it gets picked, and if it does, then
So I just went to the
I think it's
dentist.
too late at the ingression protocol, gotta
yeah,
say.
true.
But but the next issue afterwards will be like road trip, vacation kind of theme, kind of tying into the Odyssey for the summer.
See, he's thinking ahead. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really bummed because I was all planned on doing the campfire at with Matt and some whoever else ends up showing up, and I found out my dentist surgery is like days before, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I'm not gonna be camping out fresh off the surgery, but
Yeah, can't fault you for that.
yeah, and I am meeting Matt C over there, over by his place for the tiki party they're going to have in the end of this week. So I'll be able to link up with them.
Perfect.
IRL.
Awesome.
Nice. And I will say, so we're already, this is kind of circular, they're kind of bumping into this because we're having to deal with, like, we set some very minimal standards for what the ingression protocol is. And I've already talked to one guy who's in the South, and he's like, yeah, no, my town is in the middle of like a burn ban. We're not allowed to burn anything, and that's likely to be in place for the next 2, 3, 4 months. So literally, it is illegal, unwise, and unkind for me to have a bonfire. And I'm like, this is amazing. Because now, how do you find a creative way to fulfill the terms of the Torah of the Greater Regional Aggression Protocol when you can't do certain elements? So I'm like, I don't know, set up some Christmas lights around a bin or something like that. So you're in a similar situation. Like, look, I can't camp. It's just circumstances clearly say not to. So the question is, how do you participate in a way that fills the spirit without filling the letter? So I love this stuff. Like,
maybe I can do a barbecue grill thing.
Yes, dude.
You send somebody to one of the campfires, and they just have to stream it to you from their phone.
That's pretty cool, though, if they'd be willing to do it.
That would follow the letter of the law, but not necessarily the spirit.
Well, that's the great thing about laws. Sometimes it's just like the letter is all that we ask for. It's just show up at a fire. It's fine. That's all you need to do.
Oh, hey, Risto is asking you what is the Moby Dick King Lear connection?
It apparently had a big effect on Melville. There's even this one pretty famous, I think, like doctoral thesis that basically says you can tell reading Moby Dick that there's sort of like two Moby Dicks. There's the first version, and midway through writing, he read King Lear, his world got completely rocked, and like, I have to fix this whole thing. And so he's like, you can do the deconstruction thing and like find the scenes in Moby Dick and see Moby Dick A versus Moby Dick B.
Wasn't there a biblical like parallel thing with Moby Dick?
It's all over the place, dude. Call me Ishmael, the opening lines. Like,
yeah.
I mean, so I did a there's a sort of like a continuing education philosophical school of like reading clubs called the Kaplan Project, and I did online their Moby Dick reading club a couple months, or no, it was probably like a year back or so, and I ended up being like the Bible explainer guy for the group because that was my background, and so my job was to just help them see all the different allusions, and it's just Melville's like knowledge of scripture is just deep. And it's something that he uses even to like do throwaway jokes. Like if you can kind of catch things that he's alluding to. The two owners of the ship, Bildad and Peleg, if you know who those characters are, you kind of get why their personalities are what they are. It's he's very subtle, he's very well read, and he's funny. Melville is funny.
It's interesting. When I read Moby Dick, I was kind of disappointed in a way by all the Shakespeare stuff because it kind of becomes a play.
Yeah.
Almost. It's like the first half of the book has almost no dialogue, and then it's like all dialogue. and it's very Shakespearean or whatever. But I was kind of into the weird Melville stuff that's not in anything else, you know. And I kind of think that like I don't know, it's like we missed out on some American literature that could have existed that would have been really based on Melville and like Whitman, and instead we got those like expat losers, Hemingway, and
I mean, this is the great thing. Like the books are still out there. They're our heritage.
they're all
Take and read, man. Pull a leg. They're yours.
But what's cool is how what's cool about them as opposed to Hemingway and the other expats is that it's they're so uniquely American or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually, you know, stayed here.
Yes.
I respect that.
I love. Although again, there's this weird, tradition of leaving America to find America, sort of. But got to respect the guys that stuck around.
Well, yeah, and also it was kind of it's weird because my dad wrote a thesis on Moby Dick, and my mom taught Shakespeare, so I feel like I am the nexus of those two things in some way. And then it was weird to get to the end of Moby Dick, and it's like, this is becoming Shakespeare. Like, what's happening? Who am I? You know, it's like the streams were crossed or something. I was like, why didn't they talk? You know, but it's interesting. But split level, so it does make sense in the end.
Yeah. In the end, like you start to see that, like, oh yeah, no, he clearly. It's not necessarily the most unified of books, and it does. It kind of like streams across genres. Some chapters are like poorly sourced encyclopedia entries. I'm convinced that at least one of the famous chapters, "The Whiteness of the Whale," is mostly like a Shaggy Dog shitpost. It's like his whole point was like, let's see how long I can go on about the color white. How many examples can I pull out? How long can I drag your attention along? And yet, the last like 4 paragraphs are just like phenomenal, like a phenomenal, very, very bleak, harsh, kind of like nihilism of nature sort of take. But
I didn't realize that Calvinism is a big part of the book, because I didn't realize that Melville was a Calvinist, a raised Calvinist, and then I think later he became a something Unitarian, whatever that meant, 100 something years ago. Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure what he was, but I mean, again, no, it's definitely Puritan New England. I think more of the characters are Quaker. And he makes a lot of hay out of the fact that these guys that are part of like the Anabaptist, like pacifist tradition are engaged in this insanely violent job. They're bathing in blood, but it's not human blood, so it's okay.
But yeah, I was just interested in that, having known nothing about.
Yeah. Well, it's also for like Melville, it's the question of like, is this Calvinism? Because part of it is also he's kind of portraying Ahab as this sort of like dinosaur from the past. So something that's more like this. He's this Achilles who's been brought into the present, and so like he's got this sort of like deeper kind of like Greek tragic sense of fate, which is similar to Calvinism, I guess. But like Ahab's got a completely different kind of attitude towards it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Yeah, I should really read that again, because when I read it, I was sort of steeped in Eastern stuff and Buddhism and things, and then I had kind of a different take on it, and I saw like the naturalism of it and the focus on the natural world as being very Walt Whitman-esque, and in that, in the and in a way, I feel like still. I hear people talk about it, and it's like it's Ahab's book. And when I read it, I was like not interested in Ahab very much. I was just interested in Ishmael, who's an almost non-character. But that kind of makes sense in Buddhism.
he's not a non-character, but he drops out.
Yeah. I was just interested in the perspective, like the worldview of the author of the book, not Ahab himself, because Ahab to me was just kind of like, well, yeah, like you're mad at reality, so you want to go, stab it, basically. It's not
cut through the pasteboard mask.
No, it's not that.
And it's the thing behind the thing.
I've never felt like that before.
And so I don't quite romanticize it like some seem to, but
no. There's also a lot of Job in Ahab and Moby Dick, except for Ahab, it's like, I have been wounded by God. I'm going to get on a boat, drive to the ends of the earth, and punch God in the face. That's what I'm going to do.
Exactly. So I guess in a way, it's like I can admire the gall.
Yes.
I guess.
Right. And there's something again, sort of like the emptiness of Ishmael. Is it like part of the story is him dropping out is also just how does somebody who's kind of dedicated to kind of like emptying oneself, achieving a sense of oneness, what do you do when you find yourself in the thrall of a massive personality, a madman like this? It's like, is your meditation practice enough to keep you on your principles? It's but like you can I'm sure you can write a grad paper about like, can Buddhism survive in America? Ishmael v. Ahab.
It's funny is you just reminded me of RoboCop. So I was watching RoboCop, and this was the first time where I was thinking, the machine, he gets turned into a machine.
Are we talking the original or the new one?
Original RoboCop.
I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah, exactly. I only mess with the OG RoboCop. But I was thinking that it's when he sort of becomes a machine, and I was thinking the machine is really the body, and that there's something deeply masculine that we can connect to in that he gets this machine body and the machine just does the job, man. It gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
But then the question becomes, but who am I? Like, if I'm this machine that just works for this like corporate overlord doing whatever it tells me, then, it's not just that he has no sense of self. It's like, who are you working for? Am I just an automaton? Am I just a machine? Or am I a man? And then the story is kind of a journey of how he becomes a man again. But I was thinking, it's like, I think a lot of guys would like to be more of a machine like RoboCop if it was for something good, And so I'm thinking about that with Ishmael saying at the beginning of the book, he says, basically when I want to blow my head off instead, I go sign up to go on a whaling ship, and then I have no control over anything, and people tell me what to do, and I just do it. Which is all well and good.
Like he struggles with sort of like the nihilism of boundless choice and freedom. He's like, it's too much.
Which is by the way, very American. That it's almost like a reaction to the new world. Like there's too much, too many grandmas,
But you made me think of with the RoboCop thing. For some reason, I just was having this vision or this thought, not a vision, of all these billionaires and all these people that are trying to download their conscience into a computer when they die so that they can live eternally. Well, what if the people that are living at the time have access to this program that's supposedly you, and they literally are, they're controlling this guy's psyche. You know what I mean? Like they put him in a RoboCop outfit or something like that because they need a, I don't know, whatever, like harvesting people's conscience. I don't know. I just can see like.
Brett actually wrote about this.
Wait, hold on. You're breaking up.
Yeah, you were roboting for a second, Skink.
I want to hear this.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, like, I wrote about this in my short story for this.
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah,
Did you walk too there? Did you walk too far from somewhere?
Yeah, I might be dropping
Okay,
out.
there you go.
I'm walking towards the bars.
There
Towards
you
the
go.
bars. Okay. Um,
you're back.
but no. The idea of digitized consciousnesses. I wrote about this in my short story for the Cyberpunk Islam Zine issue. If you go into my channel, look up the video Taleb's Dog Walk. You can hear me read my story.
Nice. That's cool. That is creepy, though, isn't it? To even think like that. We're all thinking like that now.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of think that I would say it's already happening because, if I talk to an LLM long enough and then I get a LLM psychosis and then I become a different person, it's like they've reprogrammed my mind to work the machine of my body towards their ends. But I guess they've always been doing that.
Yeah, good point.
But they used to use movies and stuff. Which reminds me, we'll be talking about They Live next Thursday, May 14th, between 7 and 8 p.m. Central. It's so funny that it's for free on YouTube now. And it's like Grizz spoke that into being because he was like, we'll see if it becomes. He said, I remember it being free on YouTube. I was like, it's not free on YouTube. Now
Maybe
it's free on
because
YouTube.
because we're on YouTube and we were talking about things for being free on YouTube, and they were like, we got to get the rights to this bad boy. Something.
But for some reason, the version that they have that's free is like the edited TV version, which is very strange.
Whatever. I mean,
What?
I can live with it,
As long
especially
as
if it's just sex and
yeah,
whatever.
it's just swearing and stuff cut out. But as long as they're not like changing the plot, like now the bad guys are the good guys, and you should just worship Seth. The end. Like that would be bad.
I am surprised because I'm like you. I've seen so many. Well, up until I don't know, maybe the last couple of years, few years, I've seen you. I mean, you pretty much could have named it, and I've seen it. But then this movie was like your VHS tape found in a box. I was like, why have I not seen this?
Yeah.
So I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to listen to what people have to say about it.
Yeah, me too. And yeah, I haven't seen it for a long time, so. But I knew it enough to know that Gris was referencing it all the time, and then it's like it'll be interesting to watch with this new mindset, I guess.
So you haven't re-seen it yet?
No.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a little while, for sure.
Yeah, I already watched it again, watched it so that I could chew on it for a while before your big party.
Yeah, I'll be watching it soon. Probably watch it a couple times before that thing.
What are you gonna do if there's like 25 people on this one?
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to cycle people out. It's gonna have to be like, all right, say your piece. You're gone.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, get some new people in there. Because that could easily happen.
Well, you're going to have a lot of practice facilitating.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, hopefully, if we can keep consciously aware for longer than 40 minutes, we'll be getting better. Because I think I kind of dropped out after 40 or 45 the first time. Ethan.
By the way, I owe Ups a thanks for sending me the email for the link.
The link's in the description now.
No, I couldn't find it.
I didn't put it in there originally, so it's like it had to reload, whatever. Or something, or a caching issue may have occurred.
What time are you doing movie night? Because you're doing next Thursday?
Yeah, next Thursday. Thinking maybe 7, between 7 and 8, but maybe 7. That was the old. I asked Grizz what time I should do the movie night, and he was like, Thursday night, like the Friends time slot, And And I was like, oh, I think that was, I think it was at 7 Central. Seinfeld was at 7:30. Okay, yeah. So
cheers.
Yep. If Set figured out that that's when people aren't doing something else, then maybe it's still true. So that's the thought behind that.
Wait, Ethan, were you doing something tonight? Did I miss that?
What? No,
No, you weren't. Okay.
I hope not.
What's on your mind, Ethan?
I was just enjoying y'all's chat. I was listening to it. I got caught up, heard every word. And
nice.
And I appeared in the TV. Here we are.
Well, isn't that what makes this different than television that I watched as a child? Because never did I turn it on and then I'm on the screen.
I feel like when I was a kid, like you kind of were, you weren't on the screen, but like the screen was around you. Because you were just like imagining yourself, at least I was like walking around and like fighting people, and like if there were ninja on the screen, I was doing kicks. Like, so maybe this is actually worse for me because I'm getting sucked into the TV rather than sucking the TV out.
Yeah, but you're participating in a real way. You're not lost in a story plot that's taking you where it wants to take you.
Well, yeah, and there's a dangerous kind of eating the fruit there. Like I used to watch, I got the neighbor kid in trouble because he wasn't allowed to watch Power Rangers, but we watched Power Rangers at my house, and then we were just like doing jump kicks and like flipping over stuff. And he went home so like, hyped up that the parents were like, whoa, hey, you're not allowed to go over and watch that.
Don't hang out with that Ezra kid.
Yeah, right.
I just tried to post "you fat lard" in the chat, and I got blocked. I got censored.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are you calling that to?
Well, I mean, Upcycle was talking about Napoleon Dynamite, so I was throwing in a Tina "you fat lard" reference. I think is that the right reference? "You fat lard."
I don't remember that in that movie,
Yeah,
but
I remember Tots. I remember dancing. I remember Uncle Rico.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got called fat lard a lot after that, so I think it's from the movie.
Oh, that's interesting that Napoleon Dynamite was absolutely divisive. I wonder if that's true. Is anybody lukewarm on Napoleon Dynamite? I liked it, all right.
I remember watching it thinking, what in the hell am I watching? And I got through it and I was like, this is really weird that I actually watched this whole movie. And then all my other friends started talking about it. And it was like we could do nothing but laugh at all these things and have a good time and talk about it. So it was kind of wild, that it became a cult classic that way. I actually dressed like him for Halloween one year.
My brother-in-law has the whole dance memorized. He performed it at my wedding.
The dance routine?
Yeah, Pedro's dance? Napoleon's dance.
Napoleon, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't remember anything anymore.
Wow, McMo says it was exactly what his heart yearned for. Yeah. I do like it. The spirit of it. It's wholesome.
Yeah, for a split second after he got done dancing and everybody had that pause, I was like, oh no, please don't let them shame him. And then everybody went nuts and I'm like, yes!
Yep. Yeah, that's the kind of movie I like. What's the last movie you watched, Ethan?
We watched Ponyo a couple days ago.
The Miyazaki film.
Yeah.
What is that about?
It's about a kind of like a tadpole creature that grows into a fish with a human face and then wants to be a human. And there's a magician under the sea, and there's a god of the sea, and there's a tsunami, and it gets real weird.
You know, I haven't revisited that one, but it's the only Miyazaki movie that I didn't just immediately like.
Is this how old is this movie?
It's maybe
I don't know, 20
15 years. Yeah,
What?
15, 20 years.
Man.
Ponyo, ponyo, ponyo.
Well, apparently it's amazing. Foxman says it's amazing. So I think I need to revisit that one because all the other Miyazaki I think are quite great.
Yeah, you should revisit.
Okay. Well, that's exciting because I think I've seen almost all of them. And that was the only one. And it was like one of the first I saw. And I think it was just a little bit, I don't know, aimed at more general of an audience than the couple I'd watched before then or something. So I was like, I don't know. It also was pretty close to what's like the big Pixar fish movie?
Finding Nemo?
Yeah, Finding Nemo. It was like right around the time of Finding Nemo when I watched it, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, I can't do another fish. Like, but now I'm ready.
You were talking about those movies that had crossovers with real life and cartoons. And I think the first one that I saw, I was a kid, it was the guy that was looking over the boat edge and he jumped in the water. I don't know whether he was committing suicide or what, or he really wanted to be a fish or something. And then he turned into a cartoon fish. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mr. Limpet, the incredible Mr. Limpet.
Was that it? It's like the 80s, right?
Oh, this one's super old. This is probably different.
Yeah, no, maybe, but
This one had Don Knotts.
Yeah, I think it was that.
Don Knotts. Yeah, it might be it might be even older, like 60s or. Yeah, and he becomes a fish.
Yeah, that's wild.
I've seen that many times.
I know. I can't believe I remember that.
We're gonna have to do it for movie night.
What was that? Wasn't there
no
some
explanation? We have to make this about TLC. Like, good luck. Let's go.
Wasn't there music in that? Like,
don't remember.
Yeah.
It's called Mr. Limpet.
I think it's called The Incredible Mr. Limpet.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's
when you said that, I was like, that's it.
And there's like they're like Navy guys in it and stuff. Yeah, 64.
And
it's got to be one of the earlier full-length movies that is like cartoon and live action.
Oh wow.
Ooh, McMo's mentioned VeggieTales. Have either of you guys seen VeggieTales?
Yeah, I
no.
Okay.
No, that was after my time.
Yeah.
I was a Fraggle Rock guy.
Classic Fraggle Rock. I remember it really weirded me out. There's like a Muppets Christmas special or something where it's like the Muppets go to the Sesame Street people's house for Christmas or something like that. And then there's this part where like Kermit's nephew goes into the basement and they like go into a hole and then they're like in Fraggle Rock. And I was like, this is blowing my mind right now. Everything came together. But yeah, we used to, we weren't that young, but I would go with my older brothers and we would buy the latest VeggieTales from the Brian bookstore and watch VeggieTales. Now, I think that was the first computer animation, along with Toy Story, that was some of the only computer animation that we were taking in.
It's hard to believe that we were so, I don't know, impressed with Toy Story looking back.
You know what's weird is that there was a movie called The Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah.
And it has almost the same plot as Toy Story, but it's not about toys. It's about appliances that this kid has a relationship with. And then the kid like grows up and it's whether or not he like misses his old appliances. And
What
it's
do they
kinda,
call that when you're in love with an inanimate object?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the
Like-
women that fall in love with like the AT&T green box outside your house or something. You never heard of that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I know
Something
like
affiliate.
anthropomorphize, but that's all I know.
It's something like that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, there. I was like some like TV series where they're exploring people's mental issues, and I guess this woman was mad because the phone company took the box away from her front yard, and it freaked her out. She was losing it.
But yeah, I just remember like I loved this movie, the Brave Little Toaster. I thought it was like this weird, deep movie. And then when they made Toy Story, I was like, oh, it's kind of similar. And then I later found out that it was made by the exact same people, and they make all the Pixar movies.
They recycled.
It was like their first movie. And it kind of makes sense that they were like, hey, shouldn't they be toys? Because this kid's in love with his toaster, and that's kind of weird. But I kind of like that because it was like, it was deeper in a weird way. It's like, yeah, like, your grandma's toaster or something. It's like you have a relationship with these things, and then they're gone.
I was definitely more into gadgets than I was into toys, like how things worked, taking them apart and stuff like that.
Were you a fan of Inspector Gadget?
Oh yeah, what are you kidding me?
That's such a great response. Like, yeah, duh. Like you could watch Inspector Gadget and not be enthralled.
Yeah, I mean, I think also too, it was very
The
like
theme
it was,
song alone.
yeah, and then it was like James Bond for kids in a sense. It's like with all these weird little gadgets.
Again, it's like these robotic things, like we're his bodies. There's something going on with the machine and the body. So when Paul Kingsnorth is like against the machine, it's like he's actually like he might be talking about the body. So
I've thought about it after I get all these teeth taken out and they give me dentures. I'm gonna be like, wait a minute, does this make me transhumanism? Like transhumanist? I'm having prosthetic teeth.
Are they putting Wi-Fi in your teeth?
Who knows what they're doing, dude?
Because that'd be pretty cool if you could just like slip a router in there.
It would be cool.
yeah, but then you'd have to update your teeth all the time. Need the latest firmware to eat a sandwich. Like this is what it's gonna be like.
Yeah, because you definitely don't want software teeth just mushing around. You need the firmware.
You need the firmware, exactly.
Oh.
Your social credit score is not high enough. You can only have liquids, man. Let me tell you. That's what the future's gonna be.
Hey, do you want to go to a campfire? No, man. I have to be in close proximity to the internet.
Wi-Fi. Yeah, they have service up there. I can't eat unless there's service.
Is somebody gonna bring a Starlink?
Yeah, it's like you go from yellow tooth to Bluetooth in one easy step.
See, man, that's why they call it Bluetooth. Like they're already setting it up.
Wow, dude,
Hiding
you're
in plain
freaking me
sight.
out.
Yeah, he steals my jokes all the time. It's really annoying.
Well, you didn't type it, so I couldn't put it on the screen. Well, I guess there's some kind of birthday celebration of Kierkegaard coming up tonight.
Yeah, what channel's that on?
That's a good question. What channel is that?
I would assume Oh, maybe Skank's channel.
Yeah, it's Skank.
Okay, it is on Skanks. I was just making sure. Yep. 6:55. So it's about an hour.
Nice.
So I guess we can whatever. People can get some dinner and then they can show up to celebrate Kierkegaard, I guess. I don't know.
I think it's funny. Toast. Have one toast and a drink, and then get off and drink by yourself.
Yeah. As Kierkegaard would want you to, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Kierkegaard, but that would kind of fit with what I've read.
Yeah, he had some extremes through his life.
Oh, Ethan, do you have any commentary on the dinner for five? The dinner for five was discussed earlier. Neil's normalcy, the success of the planning of the chat,
Yeah,
and I being, I think, the only previously non-IRL participant. Thus,
Well,
perhaps the Wally.
but all of us were at Midwestuary.
True.
Yeah, I mean, Chad was great for organizing. He picked like the coolest place ever.
Yep, for sure.
Says the guy with the taxidermy head behind him. We heard.
Yeah,
the
it was
restaurant
kind of
was
made
full
for
of it.
you.
Yeah.
That place was made for
It's
you.
just Wisconsin, man.
Oh.
Yeah, Mark S is way more normal than Neil.
Yeah, I would second that. That's
Also,
true.
it's kind of weird. I talked to the waiter, and then Neil was like, "You're autistic for talking to the waiter," and I was like, "I think it's like normal to chat with the waiter," but nobody ever called me autistic before, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So this is more evidence for what we already knew.
Jury's out.
All right. Well, this has been, for sure, too many grandmas, but not too many Andres.
Hey, there's my name, brother.
So thank you all for coming, and please come to They Live next Thursday, and we'll go out with some branding here. We'll take the train. We'll take a train over to the stream in an hour, I guess. So
all right, brother. Thanks for having me.
Good to talk to you.